mean, at the moment with the genres and what's happening, the bridges are all crossed over. Like, there's tracks now where someone might go, that's hardstyle. And then I'll be like, that's hard techno.
It's a grey area.
It's a very grey area. Like, growing up through the Sydney club scene, I watched Sydney thrive through its peak. You know, King's Cross, you know, I used to go to clubs and come home with stamps down your arm, man. Like, and everyone be like, where'd you go? You're like, everywhere. Then obviously the lockout laws, like that destroyed Sydney, man. Like, I watched a lot of people and like lose a lot of jobs. I think within the first 2 years of lockout laws, I think 22 venues shut their doors. Watching the scene get crumpled like that was just terrible, man. And then when it grew back just a little bit, COVID just destroyed it again. Watching the rise and the fall twice, it just inspires me to be like more a part of this comeback that's happening right now.
Of course.
And I love it. It makes me want to just keep pushing harder and harder towards whatever I'm going towards.
Yeah.
So.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Behind the Tune, episode number 13. Joining me on today's episode is Sydney's own Mark Wildman.
What's going on?
Clarified that today, just literally
it is
15
Wild
seconds ago. Wildman, not Wildman. But how you going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for getting me on.
That's okay. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into it. Sort of,
Let's
you
go.
mentioned just before that you grew up in Sydney.
Yep, I grew
Take
up
us
on the
back.
Northern Beaches. Yeah.
Yeah, take us back growing up in the Northern Beaches and your first sort of interaction with techno music and electronic music.
I think like growing up on the Northern Beaches, I mean, like a lot of the music coming out of there was a lot of indie rock and rock music. So growing up, I was always into a lot of different music, like a little bit of an Outcast vibe sort of thing. And like I was deeply in my 90s hip hop. I think that was probably what I was primarily hooked on coming into high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just came across like that rock and rap with DJs in them, started really changing the sound, I reckon, that like that late 90s, early 2000s. And I just started getting more and more hooked on electronic music. And I started to get into like early hard trance, hard style. I mean, like some of the artists, I didn't even know the names. Like I just was just, you know, corrupting the family computer with LimeWire and downloading mad tunes. And you didn't even know the name. You just loved the music. That's how I felt about it. And growing up with friends, like they always thought I was a bit weird, always like, why do you like this? And I was like, I don't know. I just love this music.
So you were sort of like a bit of like it was like different.
It was different. Yeah, very different. And like, I mean, like there was no real dance clubs on the Northern Beaches. You just had your local pubs. And then, yeah, when I started get to the age of going out, I went to a few illegal raves and all that sort of stuff that was popping up around the Northern Beaches and also on the upper North Shore. Mm-hmm. And by the time I was about, I would say 19, 18, the girl I was dating at the time, because people in Northern Beaches never really left the beaches. Right. And I would say I was a bit like that. I never really ventured into the city much. And this girlfriend at the time said, you've never been to the city? But you
like
love
the CBD.
The CBD.
Yeah.
But she's like, you love this music. And I was like, I don't know. So we went out clubbing, and it was probably the worst thing she ever showed me because I was out every weekend, like from Thursday to Sunday, just whatever I could find. And from any styles of music, it'd be hardstyle, electro, house, you name it. And it just further took me into like the depths of electronic music. And I think it only took me till 2018 to finally go, let's actually do something with this. Give it a go, teach myself production and DJing, and here we are today.
Yeah, so you sort of transition from hip hop rock to just sort of like electronic music and techno and stuff. Yeah. How was it being sort of like, I guess like I don't know how you'd call it, like for a better term, but like an outcast in that time listening to like electronic, because now obviously electronic music is very normal, and if you listen to it, you're not considered weird, but like back then you just said, you know, you were considered a little bit weird. How was that sort of?
I think the hardest part of feeling the outcast vibe was obviously the stigma of having a lot of like I guess now it's a bit of a trend, but the Eshe themes and being a bit of a lad. And, you know, if you listen to hardstyle, you were considered a lad, especially on the Northern Beaches, where it's like you just liked a genre, you know, like, so there was always that. Never really found anyone to go to a party with because no one else really liked it. And it took a while until you sort of started finding other pockets of people that are like, oh, I'm into that. Let's go to this rave, you know, like, and then you found rave culture, like, and it was not what everyone tried to tell you it was. You know, like they try to make you feel like you are a bit of a stranger. Then you go to these things and you're more welcomed at a rave. You meet a lot. You meet a lot of friends. You can go to a rave on your own, and before you know it, you've got a friend like within minutes. You know.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah, but
That's true.
I think I was always into just a lot of music, and I probably blame my dad for that. Like from just listening to his records and early rock, like the Doors, Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. I think, and that music itself had its own qualities of quite heavy, especially for its time. And I feel like that might have just sparkled the top of my interest of where music can go. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting because, like, yeah, as we mentioned, that it's very normal now.
Very normal in everything.
Yeah. So when did you sort of get into like obviously you said from 2018 that you sort of began to take it seriously. Was that when you got introduced to like production, or were you sort of into like production and DJing before then?
Before that, I had a lot of friends like up into that, getting into the club scene. I had a lot of friends that were DJs, and a few of them were producing. So obviously, we'd have days where we'd be over just kicking on, having beers in their studios, and I'd just be sitting there and watching, and always intrigued about the whole thing. I think I always just record samples and things on my phone, but I never really, opened up a laptop and said, "Oh, let's give it a crack." I tried to do DJing from a friend. He tried to give me a few lessons, and having ADHD and my attention span, especially in my young 20s, was just no concentration at all, going too fast, and I didn't follow it through. And like 2018 was when I said, let's buy a controller, let's set up the laptop, and let's just like go for it. And it really clicked. Yeah, I have a little regret that I should have done it earlier, but you can't change things like that in time.
Yeah. So, like something you touched on, something you just mentioned is like your ADHD. How was that? How have you seen that sort of affect your producing and like your DJing?
I think on daily basis stuff, it has its struggles. And like obviously I'm not alone out there. There's a lot of other people, especially in today. It's quite a hot topic. With production, it doesn't affect creativity. I think I come up with a million ideas like all the time. I think that can be a problem because you make too many ideas that you get so asphyxiated on creating them. When you actually find one, what I struggle with sometimes is that I might have a great idea in front of me. I'll be listening to it and I get bored and I might move on and then forget that I probably had a really good track going on there, but up here just was going, move on. So there is perks, but there also is like a few flaws in the switchboard.
Have you sort of gone back to any of those tracks and sort of realized?
Yeah. So I think being a bit older now, you start to kind of realize, okay, well, if we're falling into that trap again, maybe leave that track to come back to later as a template. Like I always say, save everything. No matter what it is, like even if you try and beat yourself up about, I don't finish tracks, stop telling yourself that they're not unfinished tracks. They're just templates that you've created. Like Canva. How many templates are in Canva when you're trying to design something? You can just go back to that. You might already have a perfect track sitting there. It's just at that moment in time, it's not working for you in your head. Yeah.
No, I think that's a good point to make. Like, going back. Yeah, there's so many unfinished. Even with this podcast, man, at times I've like not finished a design, and then I go back to it. I'm like, I probably should have uploaded that 2 weeks ago. But
yeah, I think we're all our own worst critic.
Yeah,
like, exactly. And it's like we're all pushing towards our own little version of success, no matter what we're doing. And I think we get so caught up in that. It causes us to not put things out or 100%. Not finish things. But yeah, it's really good to go back. And like I said, sometimes you'll open up a file and you'll be like, this is good. You're like, why didn't I finish this?
What's like the oldest track that you've gone back to? Like how many months or even years?
The oldest track? I need to do it again because it was quite interesting. I went back to a track that... so I use Logic. And I went back to a GarageBand saved file.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was interesting. I wouldn't say it was great, but the concept that was there, it was okay for what it was. Like GarageBand is more or less the demo version of Logic. because it comes free on a Mac. Yeah, so I opened up a file, and like there was some stuff in there that I just had downloaded, and they were good samples. So I went in there and shifted it around, and I think it's one of the releases that came out a year ago.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it, but yeah, like I said, that would be say the oldest. Like I just was bored one day, thought, oh, let's open up a GarageBand project. And I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, you got a song out of it.
Yeah, got a song out of it. Yeah,
that's cool. Do you remember your first gig then?
My first gig.
Was it before or after 2018?
It was after. I would say it was about before the pandemic hit.
Okay.
A friend of mine, put on an event just in somewhere in Bondi. What was it called? Bar 30? Is it Bar 36? Bar 32? Anyway, yeah, small little gig they wanted to put on, nothing crazy, nothing special, and this was before I was even playing like all the stuff that I wanted to play out. It was kind of one of the events that you kind of got told what to play.
Right. Okay.
But I said to him at the time, I go, well, look, if I'm going to play that, I want to play at least a little harder version of it. You know, it's me you're talking about.
Yeah. Was the event itself a hard?
No, it was just like an open sort of house. Bit of like melodic techno at the time, sort of, but nothing
fast.
Nothing too fast. No. But like I ended up putting a set together that was kind of a bit of hard house, bit of like low key drum and bass sort of stuff. Yeah. It was actually really cool. It was actually a really cool gig. It ended up being a really good night.
Yeah, and then from that point on, you were like, no more house gigs.
There was a few, but I think as I started getting deeper into my own productions, I really just saw my like what I want, like the end goal in my head of where I want to get to, and what I'm making, and how I wanted to build the brand.
Right. Yeah. So I guess not sure if you've fully answered this, but why the fast? Like why the 150 plus? And like
why the 150 plus?
Yeah. Like why the faster stuff? Like
because it's fucking good.
Yeah. But like, what's your why behind it?
The why? Maybe because I don't know, maybe it's because I'm going fast as it is. Like, to me, like, faster tempo songs seem normal.
Okay.
Right? Like, as weird that sounds, but yeah.
Because some it might be weird, some might be normal.
Yeah, like, there's some genres that, like, I appreciate, but I can't actually listen to, like, for too long because I get bored.
Okay.
I really, really do get bored. Like, I'll sit there and I have no interest.
Right. So, like, what in particular? Like tech house sort of stuff?
I'm minimal house. I'm not a fan. I just in my head, I appreciate it, and like, there's some great artists out there. Like I've got a good friend, Brazilian friend, Raf. He'd moved to London. Probably one of the best minimal tech DJ and producers I know. And he's a good dude. But yeah, I can't listen to it for too long. Like because I want something to dance to. I want some hard rhythm, you know. And with that, I find, to me, because it's my opinion, it just seems like the same drum loop for like hours on. Like there's no, I don't see the change in anything. Like,
it can sort of give off that
It's
vibe.
probably because I'm too complex. Like it's definitely all me. It's all in here.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, and also like I said, growing up, I was always into more harder stuff, like more harder rock music, bit of Slipknot, you know, like stuff like that. And I felt like the main reason why I did get into it is I fell in love with hardstyle when it was like just peaking through in Australia.
What year was that?
Oh, like 2003, maybe 2004.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Like the early 2000s. Now you would considered it's called classic hardstyle.
What artists? What artists?
Oh, like Techno Boy, Headhunters, Wild Styles, like a lot of Dutch artists. And
still around though.
Still around, and still I would say top tier artists today.
Yeah,
like especially Techno Boy and Tune Boy, they're up there in my inspirations, I reckon. Yeah, and I just love the harder stuff, and I eventually got into like from hardstyle. I love my hardcore, which is obviously the 180 to 200 BPM sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so touching on that, why did you sort of not pursue production of hardstyle? Why have you sort of done like the hard techno sort of music?
Well, like I have another mate who's asked me this. He's like, "When are you going to make a hardstyle track?" And like,
because you're alluding to a lot of like hardstyle inspiration, but like your music is not hardstyle, but it's a lot faster. It's not faster than normal techno.
part of like what I like when I'm creating is I like incorporating a lot of what I love into what I'm making.
Right.
So I like to put a lot of the influences of what I love of hardstyle and hardcore into my hard techno productions. Because I mean, at the moment with the genres and what's happening, the bridges are all crossed over. Like there's tracks now where someone might go, that's hardstyle. And then I'll be like, that's hard techno.
It's a grey area.
It's a very grey area. And like, it's fine. Like it always happens with music. But yeah, I think when I'm producing, I'm always wanting to sort of mix it up and put those influences into my tracks. Yeah. And like, if you're making a faster track, hardstyle's bloody quick. So yeah.
I guess I want to ask as well something you mentioned. Your friend, is it Raf that you mentioned?
Yeah, Raf.
Since he's minimal house, and you, by the sounds of it, aren't a fan of it, how did you two sort of meet and become friends?
We played on the same lineup, I think, one night at We Love in Sydney at the Vertican, and also another good producer buddy of mine, Lumitz. He just recently moved to Melbourne, but I got introduced to Raf, I think, through him, and they're both Brazilian.
Okay,
so they've been friends for quite some time, and yeah, it was just sort of like a in the moment, who you know, sort of scene sort of thing, and yeah, connected with him. Yeah, no, he's a really good dude. He thinks I'm crazy with some of the shit I make, and like, I mean, I don't doubt he probably sits there and goes, "Why do you make this?"
yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, because what minimal tech is like what 110, 115?
Between 110 to probably 128, 30,
yeah,
130.
and then you're like,
who knows?
160.
Yeah. So, I am warming up at 145. You know,
like a 40 BPM jump. So yeah, I could imagine just be so much for him.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
2019. Yeah, like the end of 2019 or halfway through 2019 is probably when we sort of started like meeting each other, and I had a few other friends that were a part of the We Love group at the time.
Right.
So I kind of met people in there, and that's kind of how I kind of got a gig through them at one point and got to play a bit of techno there, which was really cool.
Okay, yeah, because from my understanding, We Love is where that's not really like a techno.
It's like tech house groove and peak time techno.
Yeah, okay, because I've seen him around, but yeah, I was gonna say techno isn't really there.
Yeah, no, it's run by Nick Reverse.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. And Nick Reverse, I think most of his focuses is on like a lot of groove techno and peak time stuff.
Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. But you got to play techno at one of their
events. Yeah. I've done a few back-to-backs with another mate of mine, Ox, and like we always have a bit of fun together. And yeah, I think there was a show we got to do there right before the clubs got shut down again from the pandemic rules. And
in 2021? This is like the second lockdown?
No, it was like the right at the end of 2020. Yeah, and we were meant to play a 2-hour set, and then the event, we got told, it's probably now not going ahead, and we're just like, this sucks. And like, I was meant to be in Switzerland, but I got COVID 2 days before flying.
Shit.
So I wasn't allowed to fly. I didn't even get any symptoms, which I was bugged on.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then I got the message saying, nah, the event's on, but you're only playing an hour now, and we're doing midnight till 1, and then we have to shut the club down.
An hour back-to-back set. That's hell.
It went so fast, but we just ripped the club apart. It was so good. The energy was up. And as well, it was literally, we were one of the last parties for pretty much the year and a bit. It felt like forever.
Bit of history.
Yeah, we even made it. It made it on Channel 7 News.
Oh, really?
Which was pretty funny. Yeah, the next morning, someone had uploaded like the videos that were uploaded on stories. Channel 7 had gone and ripped them and put them in their news story and made this little like one of the last club nights. Like, yeah, all this. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, touching on COVID and speaking on COVID, I feel like it's still a hot topic.
It's an annoying topic, but at least now it's kind of like, what's that again?
Yeah, I feel like I'm talking about it like every single podcast episode. It just comes up somehow. Like,
yeah, I know.
But it's inevitable, I think, especially it will be for the next 2 years.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Just like a hot topic. But obviously you started in 2018 or started going, full time in 2018. Obviously COVID hit in 2020. How was that effect? You literally just started 2 years is like very short, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's like you can't do anything anymore.
Music thing wise, I guess because I was starting, it didn't like I wasn't a full-time artist, so I didn't feel the full effect of obviously a lot of top tier artists out there that was their main income. So it was a bummer because we were starting to poke through and then shut down. But personally, the pandemic for me was more struggling on my own mental health.
Right. Okay.
And I'm just like, I'm a bit of an introvert, I'll be honest. And like, I don't mind my like, ignore the world, stay home by myself and, enjoy my own solitude. But not when you get forced to.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I think when you get forced to stay home and all these rules, no one likes that, man.
Of course.
No one. And that affected me more. But the positive end of it, I tried to turn all that bad energy into music. And right when it was all happening, that's how I kind of had like just a small time label from Portugal hit me up on my SoundCloud and asked me for a release.
Oh shit! Like during COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you ended up releasing.
Yeah. I ended up releasing with them. I had a few releases with them. Very much grown a lot from since then. But it was kind of a real nice silver lining to grab within that whole.
Yeah.
Do I continue doing this? Like, are we going to come out of this? Like, all the clubs are gone. It was also hard too, like growing up through the Sydney club scene, and not as a DJ, but just more as a patron and a music lover. I watched Sydney thrive through its peak. King's Cross. Used to go to clubs and you come home with stamps down your arm, man. Like, and everyone be like, "Where'd you go?" You're like, everywhere. And
stones.
yeah. There's all the trophies there, man. And then obviously the lockout laws, like that destroyed Sydney, man. Like I watched a lot of people and like lose a lot of jobs. I think within the first 2 years of lockout laws, I think 22 venues shut their doors or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Like officially, they tried to stay open, and watching the scene get crumpled like that was just terrible, man. And then when it grew back just a little bit, COVID just destroyed it again. And I think with dealing with those emotions, a part of me like doing this whole music thing is like watching the rise and the fall twice. It just inspires me to be like more a part of this comeback that's happening right now.
Of course.
And I love it. It makes me want to just keep pushing harder and harder towards whatever I'm going towards.
Yeah. I guess since you sort of saw the rise and the fall, and then so you saw the rise, the fall, and the rise and the fall again.
Fall again. Yeah.
Sort of, what do you sort of how do you see Sydney sort of coming out of this? I guess this second or third wave.
Yeah, we don't even know anymore, do we? Look, it's still a recovering city in terms of the nightlife. Like there is no doubt about that, and like obviously being friends with a lot of people in the scene that are the promoter end of things. We're doing it tough. Like it's hard. I mean, there's even more DJs now in Sydney than ever. But like there's only certain few strong soldiers pushing through with their events and their brands. And it's a bit of a 50-50 situation, I think, depending on how you look at it. But I believe that we've come through much stronger, I reckon, in the last 8 months than we have seen in the last 2-3 years, easily. Like, I mean, hard techno alone, I mean, I'm biased because I'm an artist for it, but hard techno alone is a trend at the moment, and it's really poking through in Sydney, especially a lot of hard groove stuff. Like,
I've realized hard groove is like very, at the moment, like it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's a very, very, especially Melbourne, it's big for it in Melbourne. And yeah, I think we're definitely on the right path. There's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be venues having to fork out big overheads to try and push through these big miracle events, which do happen. And like shout out to BPM, Black Noir, and Raw. They are, out of my opinion, those three events promoters are really doing big things for the scene here in Sydney and out of the state too. That's just to name three. And it's just sad that the government here in Australia really only focus a lot of their energy on gambling and sport, and obviously property.
Yeah. I think if they even delegated a fraction of that money that goes towards those three things to the nightlife.
Well, it's the thing is the government wants this 24-hour city, amazing city nightlife, right? Like, okay, cool, that's great, but you have to support the nightlife to get what you want. You know, like you can't make bread without flour. You know what I mean? Like you can't just say, make me bread. Where are the ingredients? Oh, we don't have them.
What do you think we need then to sort of fund this sort of 24-hour city? Obviously, transport is a massive one.
Transport's a big one because a lot of people that like, you know, live quite far away from Sydney want to get into the town, but it either is near impossible or it costs too much.
Yeah.
But I think a bit more love for the arts and music department from the government's end. You know, like if they're so willing to, you know, do a renovation on a stadium that doesn't need it, how about take a little fraction of that money out of that and, you know, put it into some clubs and some pubs and like some venues that put on not just techno events and all that.
Yeah.
Anything. Art galleries, you know, like dance events, just things that are to do with the culture in the nightlife.
Yeah.
I think like just a little bit of love.
Well, yeah, we just recently saw that Germany, or is it Berlin, are investing $1 billion into there, and then Amsterdam's investing.
Amsterdam's doing the same thing.
Yeah, like millions of dollars, and like, yeah, I think I read an article that, you know, Sydney, I think the government's looking to invest like $220,000 into like 21 suburbs or something, but that's like,
it's like what's
pennies.
Like, what is that?
Yeah,
like you can't even buy a backyard shed with that.
Yeah, 100%. You can't even buy a house. So how's that going to like lift?
You buy the bathroom.
That's a table. That's a table at a club.
That's a table at a club. Well, you seen the was it Hall Berlin, the bathroom DJ set?
Yeah,
yeah.
So like I've seen that. So I mean, there is steps towards that, but I think it's very minimal. And I don't think it's not gonna do the effect that they think it's gonna do.
No. Like I said, they do these little, oh, we'll help you out a little bit, and then they put it in the media that they're helping, and obviously everyone's like, oh, look at them, they're doing the right thing. But the people that are in the scene, we ain't seeing it.
But even then, I didn't see that article until I actually looked for it. So I had to look up Sydney Nightlife to be able to find that article. I didn't see it unless I just don't watch the news or anything. But I didn't see it on social media or anything. So it's sort of just like in the background, like, oh, we did this. So like, if you didn't see it, it's your fault.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean. Like, it's not in the public eye because it's not in the public interest. Like I said, like the focus of the age group of our government is to do with property, gambling, and sport. Yeah. Like our government would rather spend money on sport than education. Like,
yeah, I mean, sport's a massive one. Don't get me wrong; it's great.
It is a great thing, and it is great for families, no doubt. I'm not ragging on sport here, just saying that for the record. But yeah, I'm just being factual. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think sport is definitely funded a lot, but again, if we could sort of diversify those funds,
we could take a little bit out of it. You know, if they got like a $20 million stadium project, give us $1 million.
Yeah, 19 million. What's 1 million going to do? You know,
exactly.
Yeah, no, that's a good conversation. I think.
Yeah,
very topical. I've sort of had that conversation a few times now in my last 3 episodes, and it's good to sort of speak to people that are in it, because everyone always has the same sort of belief, but everyone has their own sort of interpretation and their own ideas on how we can actually help it. I think it's great because like the more people that we sort of having these different ideas, the better it is for the scene. Because if everyone had the same idea, then it'd be a bit boring.
Well, that's it. Like, I mean, if everyone was the same, you're right. Like, everything would be boring. That's why we are different. You know, that's why every human is very individual. It's good to brainstorm with different ideas from different angles, so you might come up with the best angle.
Yeah. I guess in that
collaborative work is good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and the three mentioned Black Noir, BPM, and Raw. Yeah, definitely the three, especially in the hard tech, like the
hard end. Yeah,
you have all the other genres, subgenres that have their own collectives that are doing well. Yeah, like Sash, Lost Sundays, and stuff.
Yeah, Sash is still a very strong brand. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you used to go to Sash events as well? Obviously, you know that's not really your.
It's not my jam, but I have been to a few. Like I said, like I think I've popped my head in to see a few. Like I've supported, like popped in. I saw Raph once. He was playing at one of the Greenwood ones that they did. Very rare. I'll go. I think there was one time we were gonna kick onto a Sash breakfast, and we were in the queue, and we'd been out to 2 other parties that night, and we're in the queue, and I just got to the point of, nah, I'm going home. Like, my bed sounds pretty good right now. The only minimal I want right now is my doona.
Yeah, no, 100%. Was that like after a night of like hard stuff as well?
Yeah. It was a double header, like 2 hard events across Sydney. And then, my friend was like, oh, we should because we were still out, and we thought like the smart idea of we could do Sash, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like when you got that little bit of buzz, you get in the cab, you get there, and then all of a sudden,
oh, dude,
it's gone. It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, especially going from hard to Sash would be just the biggest come down,
just a little bit. Yeah.
I guess speaking on BPM, you obviously recently played.
Yes.
Was that your first year that you played for BPM?
No, that was my second time with them.
Okay. Yeah. What was the first one that you played?
The first one I played at was they had when they were really transitioning into the more harder end of stuff. They had a warm-up party at Mary's Underground, and got asked to play there, and that was a sick little party. That was really cool. It was sort of a warm-up party to sort of get more people interested in their upcoming bigger one.
Yeah.
And then they had a bigger party, I think 2 months later. I wasn't on the lineup for that, but went to it. It was at Liberty Hall.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So far they've done 2 events at Liberty Hall. Both are epic. Both props to Jet for putting on just an insane party.
Yeah.
But
Jet, so Jet runs.
Jet is the owner of BPM. Yeah, and shout out to Jet.
Shout out to Jet. Putting such great events on.
Yeah, mate, and he's got some crackers coming up. That's for sure.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard about his roster, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because you played the BLK one.
Yep.
How was that?
Epic.
Yeah.
Just was a milestone for me in terms of big shows and also crowd support, with the fans that are following along with me. I'd go back to that event now. If I could snap my fingers, I'd love to go back.
Yeah.
It was actually spectacular, and it funny how it really worked out too. I was meant to be playing, I think, at 10 o'clock, and it was only meant to be an hour set. 10 o'clock. And Jet, he was actually playing on the lineup as well. And I was in the crowd. I get a message from Jet, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to play an hour and a half now?" And I was like,
"Is that a question?"
There's a bit of shit in the woods. And and then as soon as I said yes, he just messaged back going, "Okay, you've got 15 minutes."
Oh, wow. So you obviously had planned for an hour?
I already had planned for an hour, and I do like planning my sets. And I do like going off the cuff every now and then. But I really like having a little bit of a plan, and I like mentally prepping what I pictured that's going to happen when I'm at home when I'm playing a set, which is really cool. So now they had the hour and a half. I knew we don't have to panic of trying to fit all the songs I wanted in there and all the tracks that I wanted to test out. Let them just play out. And also the leeway of adding more in. So I ran to the green room. I nearly left my USBs on the table. I was so bloody excited. Ran downstairs, jumped on, and just some of the crowd reactions was just insane. Yeah. Really I'm buzzing from it still.
No, I remember that set. I think we got there. I think just as you might have started playing, or maybe just before you started playing, because you played before Black Traffic.
Yeah,
and then BLK obviously came on. Yeah. Did you get to interact with either of them?
Yeah, I did. Through half my set, I had BLK behind me just rocking out. He was even asking me, what song's this?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And some of them were mine, and I was like, mate, I'll send you some of these if you want. I think before Black Traffic actually jumped on, I'd already had my closing track playing, and I was done. I got to that. That's what I wanted to finish on. He was still trying to get ready and get his headphones out of the bag underneath me, and I was like, "Mate, I'm done." And he just looks at me and goes, chuck another one in." And I'm like, I didn't plan on that. Shit. And then the track that's playing almost is finishing. I'm like, because I was using all 4 decks that were up there. And I'm like, oh, okay, quick, just load up another one and just sent it in. And it was good. It was good to party with those boys. At first, before playing, I get nervous before any show. I think it just means I love it that much. That's what I try and tell myself. I think it's only going to get worse the bigger the crowds, But
that's a big crowd. You were playing basically at a full capacity.
Yeah, I think it was 2,000 people at that point. Insane. Absolutely insane. Looking down was just unbelievable. And they were a good bunch of fellas, and overall it's just crazy night.
Yeah, no, obviously. Because then you said it was a milestone for you.
Massive milestone,
sort of like
man.
that is like the peak of your career at the moment, I'm assuming.
Definitely in terms of events, yeah. Like it was. I mean, even just like the appreciation post event from just fans and friends. A lot of humble messages, man, that I got. It was really nice. Yeah.
No, that's
especially
awesome.
Yeah, especially when like you play your own music out. It's always very. You're in your own mind about it, you know, wondering, oh, do I play my own music? Is it as good as, you know, Amelie Lenz, you know, at the top of the charts sort of thing? And then when you drop your own track and you get like that organic feel from the crowd of like that, they just love it. You can't explain it.
Yeah.
You really can't explain it.
What reaction is better for you? Obviously, you just said that the crowd reaction to your song, or someone like of BLK's sort of stature saying, "What is this song? What do you value more?"
The crowd reaction.
The crowd reaction.
Yeah. Like having a bigger artist appreciate your music is epic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had someone recently. I'm not going to drop names, but she wants to sign one of my records soon.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and she's an Aussie, but I'm not going to say any names because I don't know if I'm allowed to mention anything yet. But
techno and Aussie, okay. We'll let the viewers.
We'll let the viewers work that one out. But no, the crowd reaction from people that you've never met, you don't know them, but you know that they're there for the music.
Yeah.
And just I mean, can you swear on this podcast?
Yeah,
like,
no, go for it.
Yeah, I think as an Australian, one of the best compliments you can get from the crowd is "can't." You know, when a filthy drop hits. But not just that, just you can just feel the energy bouncing back and forth from a crowd, and that I just love. Like, and I mean, I have a lot of energy, as I've said before, and just I like expelling that onto the crowd, and when it reflects back, it's an energy you just can't explain.
Yeah. I think your position as well, like being the third, like obviously before Backtraffic, you're probably okay. It's very important. Your set as well to sort of get that energy going and like get everyone sort of hyped up, because you got the two main acts playing next. So like you've got a very important role in sort of doing that. And I think being at that event, you did a very good job.
Thanks, man.
At,
Thank you.
Creating that energy. Because I think, as I said, we walked in to that, and as soon as we walked in, we're like, fuck, what the hell is this? This is like, because obviously when you hear like a hard techno, you don't expect someone to play hard stuff right before, like it's a bit more mellow, but you were just sort of just going in, and I was like, holy fuck, this is gonna be like this for like 3 hours, and then it was, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, even like Jet and Brody that played before me, they were banging out like some serious hardstyle tunes, and I'm like, what event's this? But like that's like I said, the bridges between hard techno and hardstyle now are very pretty much the same. Yeah. And like, I mean, a lot of my sets as well. Like I don't play too many hardstyle tracks, but like if I'm going to be playing that sort of level, I'll be playing hardcore. Yeah. Like real aggressive sort of smacking beats. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess onto like music production.
Yeah.
And sort of your experiences with music production. You just said that obviously you have someone big wanting to sign your label, and then obviously signing your record, and then you obviously had a few releases on a Portuguese record as well. What's like next for you in terms of production? Are you sort of more experimenting with your sound, or have you sort of found the sound that you want to sort of pursue?
Well, like I've got a few tracks out now on a few different labels, sorry. And like local labels, also like ones from Europe and all that. I think I'm in a really nice place at the moment with my own productions. I definitely know like my sound that I'm going for. I'm always going to still incorporate those sort of like what I'm really passionate about and crossbreeding them into my own music. I do have a few releases in the process that are going to be coming out. Like I'm an impatient type of guy. Like I keep getting in my own head going like, oh, I need more music out. You know, the fans, they love it. I've got some songs that people go, where is that? And I'm like, soon. Believe me, it's coming. But like, that's just me being Mr. Panic and wanting everything out now. So don't worry, guys. There is a lot of crazy tunes coming out soon. But you know, I reckon like when I sit in the studio, it doesn't take me too long to come up with something crazy. And I like experimenting with like a lot of different things, different techniques, things that some people might say you're not allowed to do, you shouldn't do that, right? Like, but if it sounds good,
yeah, why not?
It sounds good. Yeah.
How do you balance? Because obviously, I'm assuming you work full time outside of.
I do, yeah.
DJing.
Yep.
How are you balancing full time work, obviously releasing tracks on tracks, and then also DJing on at events? How are you finding that balance? Because I noticed on Instagram you go for a lot of walks.
Well, I'm training for the Kokoda Trail.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that's another thing on my plate.
Wow, so that's one more thing to add on to.
I think, like I said, when I was growing up, being quite a hyperactive person, I think I wasted a lot of time doing some other stuff when I was growing up, just not doing anything or like not giving things a go. And I think now I've got more of that mindset of no, you can do it, get it done, give it a crack.
Mm-hmm.
And working full time. I recently just got a degree in marketing as well, so I was doing full time work, uni,
production,
artists, and like that's all the production stuff. And don't get me wrong, like there's days where like I have my days where I burn out hard, and and they're pretty bad lows, and that's all a part of kind of how I am. But the balance, I think, is if you really love something, you'll do it. Right. Like, and I have a lot of like family members that are like a very much, I'm gonna do that, and it doesn't happen. And I don't like that. And I think my dad inspires me the most about that, because growing up, he had quite a hard upbringing.
Yeah.
And missed out on a lot of opportunities due to stuff I don't want to get into because it's personal.
Of course. That's all right.
But I'm inspired so much by him to do as much as I can and anything I can try and do and be best at because of him. Because he didn't get to do it. So like when I travel the world and stuff like that, when I come home, he always tells me he wishes he could have done that. He goes, he's so happy that I'm doing this and that. And that just fuels me to just keep doing as much as you can. And then I come back to the whole, if you really do love something, you will make time for it. And I'm a big believer in that. When someone says I don't have time for it, well, do you want it? Do you want it or not?
Yeah.
And I think it's something like if you've got something in your scope, go for it.
No, that's very well put.
Yeah,
Sort of inspired me a little bit.
Yeah, but look, and I'm not saying it's easy.
No,
no way it's easy. Like things that like are mega passions that you want to achieve. They're not just I'm going to post this on TikTok and I'm going to be famous in 1 minute. Nah.
No overnight success.
No way. There's no overnight success. There's no book on it either. Like, it's hard work and passion.
I mean, they always say overnight successes took like 4 years, because
sometimes it's a 10-year journey.
Yeah, you work for 10 years and then you finally get a break and then it's an overnight success. But in reality, there's so many years of work behind it.
Yeah.
So sort of like what's keeping you motivated? I guess you said, your dad and his love and his obviously upbringing is keeping you motivated, and your relationship with him. Is there anything else that sort of keeps you motivated and inspired?
Definitely my partner. She's definitely a good motivator, because she's just as an entrepreneur as I am.
Mm-hmm.
We're the hustle couple, as I like to say. So like whenever I'm hitting a bit of a bottom of the roller coaster, she'll come in and give you that sort of like, this is what you should be grateful for. Yeah. Right. And then she's the same. If she's at the bottom of the bloody roller coaster, I'll come in and be like, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you bounce back. And I think just that whole watching Sydney come alive again, and that knowing that I'm a part of that, like the comeback, that gives me a bit more motivation to sort of go like, you know what, all these cool little things are happening. If we keep going at the speed we're doing, what else could happen?
Yeah, of course.
So
what are your goals then, I guess, as an artist and a producer? What are your goals? Yeah.
Definitely somewhat a little bit big, but I think that's everyone's sort of, if you're an artist, you kind of really want that feel.
Are there any events or any sort of, any events that you sort of want to play at, or anything that's on the bucket list, whether it be nationally or even internationally? Who knows?
I mean, it's hard with the bigger events that are here in Australia. There's only so many that really come about. It'd be nice to land a really big like festival here in Australia, depending what one. I mean, like I said, hard techno's poking its head through, so I wouldn't be surprised if whatever upcoming festivals that are happening will start to really enforce that, and be nice to be an artist on that lineup.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever event that is. But look, obviously big goals. It'd be nice to play at Awakenings or the Verknik events. And then just some of the mega clubs across Europe. I mean, I said to myself, next year, summer, it'd be nice to try and expand into Europe and get some gigs over there. That's probably a big milestone I'm going to try and get to.
Yeah.
And will get to.
Will. Not
will.
try, will.
Will. What else? I mean, like, I've got an interstate booking soon in Melbourne, which is really cool. So hopefully that might be the first of many.
Obviously the goal is to be sort of full time.
The goal would be definitely to be full time. And like I've always pictured myself sort of, I guess, having my name as a known hard music sort of Aussie, you know, like an Aussie that's known for, that guy makes this, you know, like I've always had that, and I say that in the most humbling way, you know, like, and I feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I've got the feeling in me that, like, and I've felt this even when I was just discovering dance music, you know, like before I even thought I could be a DJ, you know, like, you know, I could be a producer. Like I always had that little feeling of, it'd be cool to be that. And some part of me was like, maybe you could be. Yeah. Like I said, just be like, get exported overseas and be that crazy Aussie probably chucking a hack on stage to a hard techno set in Europe, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be sick. I would love to see that.
I'm known for doing that.
I would love to see that. That would be awesome. Seeing you hack on the Awakening stage.
Oh, mate, we need to put that. That's the top of the list now.
Chucking a hack on the Awakening's main stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool, like, that you have those aspirations. And it's, like, very motivating listening to that, like, hearing all that sort of stuff. And obviously the way you're going as well, I don't see why that's not possible.
No, like I said, anything's possible. It's just you got to push. Like, and even when you hit those walls, you know, you just go, there's a way around this, like, or through it.
Yeah, around, through it, under, over.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So I guess sort of let's rounding up the conversation that we've had.
Yeah, man.
It's been a great conversation.
That's been good.
So many topics touched on, and, like, obviously we talk about nightlife, Sydney nightlife, your recent events. Is there any sort of, do you have any, like, memorable moment from, like, the last, 4.5, maybe 5 years of your career that you sort of, like, look back on and think that's, like, something that you'll cherish, like, remember for, like, a very long time? It could be multiple things, it could be one thing, it could be a combination of things.
Look, the I reckon waking up, like, my release that I had come out the start of this year, Paralyze EP and, like, Fake Generation and Paralyze. Basically, when I designed those tracks, obviously I've been doing the marketing course, and studying and doing full-time work. The budget obviously was constrained to only affording certain things, and setting up that release with Dark Grounds, which is a good label from Barcelona. And when I gave them the tracks, I'd mastered them myself. So I'm always trying to better myself with all that, because mastering is a completely different topic on its own. And props to the guys out there that's what their businesses are, because it's a crazy job with your ears. And I gave the guys these tracks, and they just loved them. And normally sometimes labels, they prefer to get someone master it themselves, or a professional master, and I just couldn't afford it. Like, I honestly couldn't afford it. And I'm sitting, like, when I sent them the email, I'm sitting there going, I hope they're good. And they loved them, and we put them out, set up all the marketing, all that stuff for them, and they hit the charts. Like, it hit English is gone.
Beatport.
The Beatport charts. The Beatport charts, and I got into the I think it was 39 or 29 the top 100, and I was stoked, or whatever, it was. It was, top 100 at least, and, like, I was cheering, like, yes, look at that, like, they were good, you know. And a few days went on, ended up at number 9, and I'm at the top 10, and I'm like, what? Like, just crazy. And another day went by, and my friend Lumitz as soon as I woke up in the morning, my phone started going off, and he's like, check your Facebook, or like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And it hit #1, and that was just a sick milestone to wake up to, because I mixed and mastered them my own. I put a lot of energy into just saying like, nah, these are good. These tracks are good. Let's get them out. Let's make this the first release of the year.
Yeah, right.
And also it was the first release of something like where I was starting to really find a bit more harder stuff like coming out. And yeah, that was probably a real big shit. Things are working, you know? And yeah, and then I reckon the second little milestone, which we already covered, which was the BPM event.
Yep.
But more the like I said, the crowd reaction. I think when I cut the fader back and like, you know, no sound was coming out of the speakers, the whole crowd was singing the melody of one of my tracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was just sort of like bring the sound back, cut it away again, and just having that like connection to the crowd was just magical.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Yeah, real like wow. Like just
moment of serenity.
Yeah, yeah. It was like a moment of like silence, but amongst so much noise.
Yeah, that's that. Those are really cool. #1 is congratulations on that. Like,
it was just So like, I mean, look, charts are not like everything to try and get too obsessed about. I always say that to people, but it's still a great feeling.
It's a great feeling. Yeah, I'd imagine getting #1 and anything would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as well, like there's only so many Aussies I think doing hard techno stuff. So, and it was really like that coming back to the. I want to get my name out there as sort of that. And when that happened, I went, we're getting there. Like we're making a little bit of a move. Yeah.
Something that I want to sort of ask, obviously myself not in production or anything, but when it comes to mastering a track, what does that actually involve? Because you hear all these things like, oh, the track's not fully mastered, but obviously to someone who produces music, and I'm sure anyone listening who produces music understands what that means.
Yeah.
But someone like me who doesn't, what does that mean when a track is fully mastered?
To put it simple, it's the final polish.
Okay.
To put it real simple. In the process of like creating a track, you obviously got the creation, the arrangement, start to finish. You have the idea, then you have the mix down, which is when you literally set up a session and you go through the track and you're adding like effects, elements, stuff in breakdowns that make it sound like it is coming to a breakdown, and making everything balanced. You know, that's in the mix. And then once you think that is perfect enough, you get it mastered. And the mastering is basically to make it commercial loud, basically to make it sound good on a laptop speaker, an iPhone speaker, or in your car. Right. You know, like it kind of, no matter where you play it, it should sound perfect.
Okay.
Right.
And it's obviously that's more than just exporting the track.
It's more than just exporting the track, and I think a lot of mastering engineers, and like I'm friends with a really good one, Bram Fitter in Amsterdam, and it all comes down to the master will be nice and easier if the mix is done. Like it's all the energy is really in the mix down. Mm-hmm. So if the mix is great, the mastering should be straightforward, and you know the product should be perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it's obvious. Is that done on the same program, or is it done externally?
It can be done externally in different programs. Some people have mastering stuff, but with all analog gear in a studio. It can be done on just a laptop. It all comes down to like the tools that you're using, and obviously the knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
The knowledge.
How have you taught yourself mastering?
Look, I'm as good as I get. I wouldn't say I'm some mastering pro, but just self-taught. Taking the time to just go on YouTube, or even like join a webinar that's to do with mastering, sign up to things like that. Paid courses as well. I've paid for a few masterclass stuff. Like the content out there for all that, it's endless, you know, and it's a topic that like music is endless. Do you know what I mean? With the capabilities of what you can do and what you can create. And you know, you could send a track to a mastering engineer and then send it to another guy, and you might get completely two different end results. Like it can be very different. Yeah.
Is the difference from a non-mastered track to a mastered track, is that like heard to like just the everyday ear, or is it?
It can be noticeable. Like it's hard. It's really hard to explain, but it's the tracks more or less sound more full. Loudness. Yeah. Loudness is a big thing, and yeah, like if you were to play, let's say, a pre-master, like same track, right? And a pre-master next to the same track but mastered, and you press like play. The first thing you'll notice will be loudness, right?
Okay.
It will definitely be loudness, but it's just I don't know. It's about fullness. It's just like a track will sound more three-dimensional. The bass will be thicker.
Yeah, right.
You know, it'll really like punch. Like on a mastered track on a big system versus a non-mastered track. It's all in the mix.
Yeah.
So,
right.
but like a professionally mastered track on a big system will really slap you in the chest. You know, like overall, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think that answers my question, because I always had that
fullness and loudness.
Yeah, I always had that question. I was like, how much does mastering actually, I guess, matter to any? Like, I feel like that's very offensive to a lot of.
Well, yeah, like you might upset a few mix engineers in here, but yeah, like
well, I'm just a rookie, so I don't produce my own music. So
it's the final polish for like definitely releasing music, and that's not just in techno; it's in every genre out there, from like the Beatles, for example.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
course.
Like they probably had 6 mix engineers in a studio, you know, like putting out a track that they're hoping to be a platinum record.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
There's a lot more writing on those ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah.
Sort of, did you have a music background though, when like growing up and stuff?
No,
so
I wish I did. No, all self-taught.
Self-taught, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a lot of the times I always see, and that was sort of my reasoning for not starting music and all that sort of stuff and getting into DJing was, I don't have a music background, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But
well, I think a lot of artists now don't actually have it.
But a lot of people that I talk to as well, and a lot of things that I've heard, they're all like, oh, you know, I grew up doing this instrument, or I grew up with music, or my parents were very much into this sort of stuff. But yeah, I think you're living proof that you don't need
no, like I think
background.
I know music, like, and like I like a lot of variable, like different genres and stuff like that. Like I don't really sit there and go, oh, this is shit. Like I'll listen to heaps of stuff depending on the mood I'm in. And yeah, self-taught, and you can do it. It's just, like I said, the passion and drive to wanting to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you use any like music theory in your production? Like a lot? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think
well,
like
it's all like self-taught music.
Yeah, a lot of self-taught music. Like I've had some piano lessons and stuff. Like I actually do have a subscription to another one, which I accidentally let lapse. So I've got to sign that up again, because it's really, really enjoyable and opens the mind more learning a bit of piano. So
so you're doing piano lessons at the moment?
I would say was. I need to get back into it. Just the schedule just got so full on, and I had to let one thing go to a pause. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. So you're sort of learning music
while learning music.
While learning music.
Yeah.
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I think that's like very motivating to anyone listening, and to me as well, that like you don't really need a musical background to.
No, it to know some of it and just teach the basics to yourself of it, like keys and scales, and obviously like note orientation, you know, from like a half note, a quarter note, just things like that. It's all in the production of dance music. It's all there. It's all music. So knowing little bits of it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was great.
Yeah.
Good little lesson for me. I feel like I'm the guest, and you're.
But no, that's all good, bro. It's all good.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I guess on that note, I think it's safe to say that I've very fulfilling conversation. lots of talk.
That's good, man. That's good.
And yeah, obviously I've enjoyed it. I hope everyone that's listening has enjoyed the conversation. Everyone watching has enjoyed it as well. I think there's been a lot of key takeaways from this. Yeah. Especially in terms of music production. I think Mark seems like he knows a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he's obviously producing a lot of his own tracks, and he has a lot of aspirations and goals. So it's very exciting to be watching that and seeing that unfold in the next couple of years. But obviously, if everyone that's watching and listening has enjoyed this, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. It helps the podcast out a lot, and it helps me out a lot as well. Obviously, go follow Mark on his social platforms. I'll link them in the description. But, you know, besides that, I hope everyone has a good morning, day, or afternoon, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.
Peace out.